Show will begin in 5,
4,
3, 2,
1.
Thursday night CrossFit talk with Scott Schweitzer and Jamie Latimer.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory, dock. Giving them all that we got. Kick on the door. Try to knock, but nobody answered. I'm going hard and taking my chances. I keep it moving. I keep advancing. Keeping it gangster.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Jamie Latimer, and she's multitasking. And we are here on Thursday night CrossFit talk on a Friday night because we have no lives. So today, first full day of Rogue, first full day of rain. Which threw a big wrench into everything going on at Rogue, but nonetheless, they got all the CrossFit events in. They had to postpone one strongman event until tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that. Of
So
course,
let's
all
get
the strongmen in the
way.
chat were blowing it up.
Yeah. So, and I know there's this big like CrossFit versus strongman thing that happens in the chat. And I am so addicted to the premium stuff. Like I'm not even interested in the chat.
So is the chat not on the premium? How does that work? Or
It is. You can have it if you want.
Okay.
But I would rather have all the angles at one time. So I want as much screen space as possible. So, but we'll get into that in a second. I did watch the strongman today do the Tower of Power and the bull pull or whatever they called that, the iron bull, whatever. Tower of Power, always a favorite of mine. Got to see that like in person a couple years ago. Super cool apparatus. It's still like, I don't understand why they have to gate them in at the top. Like, are they going to fall out? I don't know if you've even seen it. It's the top of the tower.
I saw it.
They lose a piece of the fence for them to come in, and then they put the fence back in. But so anyway, that was fun. And then the Iron Bull is a new implement this year, which in the premium tailgate party, they had Jerry Pritchett and Magnus Vermagnuson in there chatting while it was all going on. And I guess Jerry Pritchett was a like a welder or a fabricator.
Okay.
So he was like so into the way they shaped the bull's head and how many man hours it must have taken for them to do that. It was just an interesting conversation. And why I really love this premium alternate broadcast. It's not hearing the same crap over and over again. When Josh and Matt and who was the other one? Oh, Justin. So it's Justin Medeiros, Matt Fraser, and Josh Bridges were in there commentating during the men's at the bar or seat at the bar.
Interesting.
And it was hilarious. And then they interview Ricky, and when Ricky comes on, Matt says nothing. So my guess is those fences haven't been totally mended.
Interesting. I mean, Matt should not care about him at all.
I know. But they actually talk about like these are so you don't, I'm guessing you don't have it.
No, I did not get it. I struggled to even watch I was at the gym while Strongman was going on, and then most of Seated at the Bar. I was doing my biking during Seated at the Bar. So I just don't feel like I can even like get the benefit of it. if I'm not going to use it.
One of the conversations they had, and I can't remember, it was because Josh was on both for the men. I think it was the first. He talked about how when people said bad things about him, it started with Matt. It was Matt. Matt said that he would screenshot them and save them to a folder. And when he needed to be encouraged to go harder, he would go to that folder and read down through all the bad things people said about him.
Wow.
And then they get into a conversation about Josh and Pat Sherwood making a claim on the old update show about Josh that wasn't flattering. And Josh immediately texted him from the competition and called Pat out.
Wow. That's extreme.
And it wasn't like in a bad way or anything like that. I think they're friends, right? They're both SEALs. They're both like Navy guys. And it was more in jest. And Josh just said, like, he read everything. He wanted to know what everybody was saying about him, and he wanted to use it as motivation for what was going on. So
yeah,
those are the conversations they're having while this is going on, and I'm all in.
Yeah,
all in on it. And so it's just awesome. If CrossFit does not go to this model, they're making a huge mistake.
Yeah. And like, I guess, well, hopefully Rogue shares with them like the production cost of this multi-stream. Did it make them money? Did it cost, like, is it a wash?
I don't know. Katie was on Savan just about like, I don't know, maybe half hour ago. Okay. Said they wanted to have fun with it. They wanted to have a place where people could come have fun. And they're still bringing up stuff from the chat, not like in a podcast way, but like Sherwood will bring up a question that people have for like who the guests they have on, and then they'll talk about that. So it's much more curated than like a podcast. Mm-hmm. But it's very well done. And the conversations between these legends, another highlight for me tonight during the women's event, Annie Sakamoto, Sam Briggs, Pat Sherwood, sitting around chatting while the girls are going, right?
That's awesome.
They're talking about, can Laura beat Danny? And Sam is going on about how, she has plenty of time as long as she does blah, blah, and blah. Sherwood and Annie can't see well enough. They think the clock says 8 minutes. It really says 6 minutes. But because they're older and their eyes couldn't adjust it, and then it clicked to 7, and they're like, oh, I guess she does have a chance. Like, and then they're jumping in, and it gets into this funny conversation, and Sam's like, well, at least my eyes are still good. We're all masters, but my eyes are better than yours.
Oh, that's great.
And it's stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Danny's time, that event had me so confused when second heat was going, because I thought I saw 10:56 or whatever for Danny in her heat.
Yeah, I did not remember her time.
And then they're
better at like writing down first heat times.
Well, I do, and so that's where I was like, hold on, this doesn't make sense. So and they do say sometimes the screen clock, whatever they put up may not be accurate, but I feel like it had to have been awfully close. And Tia was like 11:25, like shouldn't even have been close.
So I know at one point the clock got unplugged. They talked about that with Katie as well. The weather knocked all of this, the timing mechanisms out except for the chip timer. So,
wow.
She said they tried to adjust it and fix it on the fly, but so that may be part of the issue as well.
Okay. Well, Holly would know. She probably already put the places and scores up, so I guess.
Yeah, I have the leaderboard up if you want to know how it totally ended up.
All right.
we got a weird comment on Instagram about how we didn't do a good enough job knowing where everybody finished last night. But we came on as the last event was ending, and we were just going by what we saw, and we were trying to make a point that the broadcast didn't allow us to see it.
Correct. Like if they came to
So-
us for placement, yes, we were not set up for that.
So they have Spiegel at 11:33.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a bit different than what the TV showed. So, okay.
Yeah, it was Laura at 10:48, Tia at 11:22, Danny at 11:33.
I gotta say, Danny looked the best on that killer cage. Better than Laura.
Yeah, I mean, I think Laura looked fine. I think she took more breaks,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if that was the plan or.
I mean, she had to stop in the middle on the way back the second round, stopped in the middle on the way back in the third round, and fell two before the finish. So, yeah, but Danny was flawless. Not a single drop, but she paced it more, obviously. Could she have gone faster?
The problem about Danny is how much rest she took after each
Right.
traverse. The first traverse, she would because I was surprised Bethany would get to the end before Danny was back up on the bar.
Yes, because she was standing there, but made her get across unbroken.
At what cost, though?
Yes, correct. But it was good to see her. That was one of her better performances that I've seen. I thought she looked strong.
Yeah, I actually thought she would do better on the second event than she did, because she's actually pretty good on the bar. And I thought with her being one of the larger athletes, her hands would be bigger. So I thought she would do better on the log. But I was sadly mistaken.
Yeah. Do we think all the tears are from the log?
I think it's everything. I think it's, and it's going to sound like I'm stealing from Bill Grunler, but I'm not, because I thought so on the log you're going to be doing more pivoting with your hand, right?
Yes.
Right, more rotation,
Mm-hmm.
and then the monkey bars are going to be more rotation as well. Where a pull up, your hand's more static. So if you're not used to like rock climbing, you're going to struggle with the rotation of your hand on the bar. And Annie Sakamoto said on the tailgate party that they buffed the bars up today in case of rain.
I see. Yeah. There's so many tears, and I just can't even imagine how these ring muscle ups are going to go tomorrow. It's going to be awful. I'm nervous for Emma Lawson. Like, her hand looked not good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've ripped a million times in my life. You get some that you put some Winnie's Rip Fix on there. You take a good shower, and by the next day, you can get back to it. Not like, but so it all depends on how deep it is.
They looked awful.
A lot of people looked awful. The one thing that I did learn too on the tailgate is Rich broke for the first time in 10 years. Rich ripped for the first time in 10 years.
What?
Yeah, on the killer cage.
Huh. Wow.
And I think Annie was puffing her chest a little bit because she did not rip, and she didn't wear grips.
Neither did Laura.
Yeah. But there are people that just, they're so calloused up
Hmm.
and they do other things, right? Like Annie's always paddleboarding and always surfing and doing stuff like that. And the grit on those boards, I'm sure, like help callous up her hands.
Yeah.
And, you know, Laura with the rock climbing, that would callous up those hands. So maybe Laura will pull it out this week. And
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's still some things that are in her wheelhouse more than Tia. So, but yeah, I guess it's possible. I mean, it's what, a 5-point difference right now?
yeah,
And
the one
even
thing
if
that, oh, go ahead.
even if Tia continues to stay second to her, that's really all Laura needs to do.
Yeah. I did not think that Tia was going to finish second in this event.
Me either.
I thought Emma Carey looked great. Ariel Lowen looked great. And I don't know what happened, but Tia reeled them both in so fast.
Yeah, she paced that one perfectly. Everyone was like, she started so slow, but I don't know. She knew something that other people didn't know. I don't know if she saw the other heat go and noticed a major degradation and took a calculated risk to be confident she could negative split. I don't know. Like, yeah, she came back way stronger. Paige was doing good. That's who I had called yesterday as my like dark horse. And she kind of fell apart at the end there too.
Yeah, I think it came down to, it took Tia a full down and back to get the rhythm of the monkey bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then once she got it, reeled everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
That first trek down and back looked rough. So, you know, I have all 5 angles up watching. And at the beginning of that race, I had 3 Tia screens up.
Oh, jeez.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah. So, but they did, it was almost like I think they got there accidentally and then they noticed it because then they all kind of like went off to different people.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny. But we kind of got out of order. So the day actually
Okay.
started with seat at the bar,
Yep.
which was the bar muscle ups, then the back squats.
Yep.
Did you take anything? Let's start with the men. What did you take out of that?
It was mostly the log, which is what I expected, right? Like the more, if you didn't look like you had great form to start, it didn't go well for you. And I personally thought Jeff looked like he had a bit of a chicken wing on that. I didn't love his form.
A lot of people had a chicken wing.
Okay, so you're sorted by that workout. So yeah, Ricky crushed it. Holy cow.
Yep. And guess who had him, as I stated last night, and who removed him today and replaced him with Pat Vellner?
Yeah, you went with my pick. I'm still happy with Pat's performance.
Well, I would be too if I didn't have Ricky in there and swap him out. But
how about Bailey? Yeah, what the heck?
With a strong third.
Yeah.
Chandler with the 4th, and Victor Hoffer did not get slowed by the back squats.
No.
And took a 5th. Noah Olson with a nice day today. BKG. Adler with an 8th. Travis Mayer 9th. And Roman with a 10th.
And Dallin, who I had high hopes for,
all the way down here.
He got 16th. Yeah, a 16th and 16th to start. Not a good start. I don't know what's going on.
So, Ricky killed that. To do that from heat 1 and to still win by 27 seconds, total domination.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenneth Ricky Mack with the win on event 2. And if we go to the women, let me shrink theirs down. And women. And I sort by that. Alex Kazan with a pretty strong win, about 15 seconds over Laura Horvath. And then Christine
Nice.
Kohlenbrander looks so good in this.
You know, when she finished, I was like, yeah, she would have been one of my, like, that's who I probably should have picked. Because she's so strong. Like, we know that about her. Like, her snatch is incredible. She's strong. She's going to probably be a lot of people's pick for the deadlift. So the back squats are not going to be the issue. And she has incredible gymnastics.
Yeah, just not incredible monkey bars.
I was actually kind of shocked that she didn't do better at that workout.
Yeah. So as we go down, Emma Lawson 4th, Tia 5th, Kyra with a 6th.
Nice.
Emma Carey 7th, Gabby Magala 8th, Paige Semenza 9th, and Shelby Neal comes back with a 10th.
Good for her.
So
Lauren Fisher, I was pleasantly surprised with her performance there.
she comes from an Olympic lifting background. I would have guessed her squat would be fine. I thought she actually would do a little bit better, but
And Bethany with no squats.
that is correct, I guess. They never showed her, but cap plus 30. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
So, she stripped off weight
Mm-hmm.
to do some. As a competitor, what do you think about that?
I mean, it makes sense. I think maybe a personal feat for her would have been just to do one of those squats, and I can sympathize. Like, I would never, like, I can't do 260, but I would not want to just go out there and try that after being corralled and just doing some muscle ups. I would have wanted to slowly build and try to hit one. But it's also like, if the minimum work requirement was the muscle ups, like, maybe just stop there. I mean, what's the use? What's 1 or 2 back squats going to get you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe they have like you got to show that you're putting in effort. I don't know. But it sounds like the minimum work requirement was the log muscle up. So if that's truly it, then
yeah, I don't know if
I don't know.
stripping off weight and attempting a lighter weight is making a concerted effort, right?
I know, right?
But she did the minimum work requirement. I just found it odd that she did that. But I guess maybe like trying to get to a weight where she could leak up and at least get a shot at the
Yes.
260 or whatever.
Yes.
That makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah.
Just to get a couple reps at a lower weight before she made the attempt and not do it cold.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What's up, Bruce?
So any other thoughts about seat at the bar?
It's just so heavy. I don't know how these girls move that weight. Oh.
So we'll stay with the
Good for
women
them.
and we will go to the circus.
All right.
And we talked about this a lot already. Laura made this look like she was at a kid's monkey bars at the park.
Yeah. Yep.
And out for a stroll. The dumbbell was beautiful. The Sears dumbbell. Is that was
Mhm.
called?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And she made it look like it was a toy.
I think they all moved it really well.
Well, the top. There were some people
Maybe
struggling.
I just didn't catch them on the feed. Well, Garrett maybe.
I think Adler had trouble with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you
That's-
watch back, like he would press and almost like bounce to the side, trying to get under it.
Huh.
It was an odd move for him. And
Hmm,
again, like
Interesting.
his biggest hole is not being good at stuff he's never tried before.
hmm
So I think it just was different for him.
It's still just a dumbbell. I mean, I know it's a little different, but the dude's clean and jerk is ridiculous. Like he should have. I was worried about Pat for this one because his notorious for weak shoulder fatigue over, like when he's got a jerk, like that goes away.
So Carolyne says lots of ripped hands after that event. I heard Carolyne's name mentioned several times on the broadcast tonight as Katie was thanking her for all of her work
That's awesome.
there. And I guess her and Colton were the ones who tested some of these workouts to make sure that everything was put in place. And Katie kept
goodness.
mentioning that on the broadcast.
Colton must have set some blistering times in some of these.
So, yeah. So if Carolyne tested some of these, let's ask, and if she can in the chat, is this Sears dumbbell much different than a regular dumbbell?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So back to the women, we keep bouncing up to the men, but we have Tia came in second. We talked about her. Danny, we talked about her. Emma Carey looked really strong on the open. She fell back a spot or two. Ariel looked good and she needed it. Gabby, really consistent this weekend. Bethany was my big surprise. After not being able to do so Carolyne says it's similar to a regular dumbbell. Awesome.
Yeah.
Bethany was my big surprise because after not being able to do a squat and then taking that dumbbell, it did not look hard for her until the last maybe 2 reps.
Yeah, she looked so strong.
So super happy for her. Paige needed that as well. Emma Lawson fell back a little more than I thought she would.
Yeah, I know.
But I guess it's the ripped hands, like just
I
the
think,
more.
yes.
And so there we have that for the women. Then we'll go to the men. There we go. And we've got Mr. Khrennikov. Why is this not? I am really having some time with this. So Roman first, Fikowski second, Vellner third, Hopper fourth. Great showing for him. Noah Olsen 5, BKG 8, or I'm sorry, 6. Yellow Hosta 7th, Tudor 8th, and Adler 9th, and Dallin Pepper 10th. And my pick for this event, after changing out Roman Khrennikov,
Mistake.
was Chandler Smith. Oh, I need to trust myself more.
Yeah, you do.
Carolyne says she ripped her hands up. Yeah, we could see on the telecast that Emma was in bad shape. She also said lots of pulling left. Will be interesting to see how these hands play a role in the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I honestly am pretty much counting Emma out at this point. So I had said Dalen. I wanted to see Dalen on this one last night, but I put in Roman. After seeing Dalen's first two performances, I was like, I am no longer going with that guy. Something's going on with him this weekend. So yeah, I put Roman in for this one.
So my gut was to go with Roman. I don't know. And then I was like, but I thought Chandler would do the killer cage better.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I overthought it.
Yeah.
Like I should have just went with my gut. And the funny thing is I've actually been texting with Lex because I was ahead of her in shot collar, I think for the first time ever in my life going into this event. And now she's passed me. I was in 5th place going into the circus. I did pick Laura, and then I switched out Roman for Chandler, and so now I'm probably in like 500th place.
I was in 407th, so we'll see if I moved up at all. Maybe I caught you a little. Lawson, Bruce.
Yeah, it was Emma Lawson. She had her whole hand taped. She was ripping the tape off after the event. It was on camera. It was gross.
Yeah, it was not good.
And yes, Lex is crushing it now.
That Garrett's issue, was his hand torn, or was he just not? I could not tell what was going on there. He just could see that he couldn't. I just thought it was grip. His grip was blown up.
He was torn as well.
Oh, okay. That sucks. Yeah, he looked miserable out there.
So if we refresh this for the overall, Khrennikov is in first with a 20-point lead over Adler, who is tied with Vellner. And then Chandler's 10 points back. Fikowski 5 points back from that. And Yella Hosta in 6th, only 10 points behind Fikowski. Noah Olsen in 7th. Crazy.
Wow, good for him.
Ricky in 9th. And Hopper made the jump up to 10th.
Good for him.
And if we look at the women overall standings, I really need to get a mouse. We go with Laura in first with a 5-point lead over Tia, who has a very large lead over Gabby McGowan. 40 points, it looks like. Emma Lawson, 10 points behind Gabby. Emma Carey, 30 points behind Emma Lawson. Alex Kazan, man, it's almost like if you're not in the top 3, forget it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, top 4, I guess, but you're looking at Emma Lawson with these ripped hands. That's going to be tough.
Yeah. Bruce, 2020 Haley ripped in Atlanta in the very last event. They have 2 more days to go. Like, you can't be that ripped up with ring muscle ups the next day. That's not going to be good.
And if you weren't with us earlier in the show, it was announced on the tailgate party that Rich Froning ripped for the first time in 10 years on the killer cage. And he didn't
So is he out?
all the other pulling that the elite athletes did.
Is he going to compete the rest of the weekend, or is he quitting?
I don't know. Haven't heard. Paige Semenza, nice surprise in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Christine Kohlenbrander, 9th. Bethany Flores, 10th. They will be in your final heat tomorrow. Lauren Fisher in 7th.
That's crazy.
And people like Danielle Brandon, Ariel Lowen, Paige Powers, Emily Rolfe in your second heat tomorrow. And I'm sorry, your first heat.
Right.
So Real quick, let's look at the events for tomorrow and the times, and then we'll get out of here for the night.
All right.
So tomorrow, individual event 4 is the 10th inning. Right now, it looks like it's at 10:55 or 11:55 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so that got pushed back. So it's supposed to be 11:25.
4 ring muscle ups, 8 handstand push-ups, 12 power snatches tomorrow. That is, who do you think will do well in that?
So we still have no idea what the handstand push-ups are, or do we?
I haven't heard anything.
I'm gonna go with Tia. I think she's gonna be hungry, and I'm anticipating that the handstand push-ups are not just regular handstand push-ups, and it may slow Laura down just a hair. So
Yeah. So in my Heat 1 app, I have Emma Lawson currently
yeah,
to win this,
Yeah.
and now I don't know. So I've
Yeah,
really
I would
I've
pull
not
her.
figured out this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tia for sure.
I also think it could be a good aerial workout.
Okay.
I'd say good aerial workout and good Danielle Brandon workout.
How's her muscle up endurance?
Great.
It is.
Yeah, it's only 4.
Yeah.
Her ring muscle ups are great. So, yeah, I don't know who I'm picking at this point, but yeah, yeah. So I have a surprise for the men, and I don't know if I should give it out here. But who do you have for the men? Again, 4 ring
Pat-
muscle up, 8 handstand
Pat
push-ups.
Vellner.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I have Will
Bailey
Moore.
Martin. Oh yeah, Will do really good at this. Yeah, he'll cruise through those handstand push-ups. That's a good one.
So
Carolyne, I can see that with Danielle. A little too much barbell hinging.
yeah, she's great on her hands and she's great on a muscle up. I just don't know. I'm telling you, Will Morad's my dude.
I could see Will, yeah, having I bet Colton's testing time on this is sick.
Oh yeah.
So
if Colton was in this
yeah.
field, he would be my pick.
Yeah, right. And so and Will's kind of your next. Could
And
be
Will
a good
always
Noah workout too.
Will always has that one event at any competition where he shows up big. And I just think this is it.
Yeah.
You notice how Carolyne is going all around the picks except for my Will Morad pick. She is not giving me any love. It's okay.
Will is a great pick, honestly.
I'll be out here on this island. I'm okay.
It's a great pick.
So then we go to, is it the next one, the deadlift?
No, the dual, which Carolyne said the athletes know what it is.
So there was a dual workout released on another show.
Oh.
I don't know their source or anything like that.
What is
but
it?
It did have over under logs,
Okay.
rope climb, and then loading sandbags into some type of tipping mechanism.
Okay.
But again, I do not know their source. I don't know where they got it or anything like that. So, but that was released on another show. And it was just confirmed by.
Accurate. Yes.
We will keep that to ourselves.
Okay. Well,
So
I'll have to think
since
about that one a little bit.
accurate, that's just one of those, as you like to put, grindy workouts.
A little bit. It's a little bit of a accuracy also, though. Like you're gonna have to be flawless on this over under. And depending on this, it reminds me a little bit of that first duel with the sandbag to the pedestal. Again, it was an accuracy thing. Like you had to get it put up there correctly. So if there's some tippy thing,
so they also said it was 3 sandbags into this tippy mechanism. Like
okay,
almost like a wheelbarrow contraption, not like it is a wheelbarrow, but like that bucket that. So
is it a legless rope climb?
I did not hear that.
Because it's probably going to be a Laura workout. Rope climb in a sandbag, like it's going to be someone strong. They can just manhandle those.
Yeah. Could be a Kohlenbrander, depending on what that over under is like.
Yeah.
She's good at rope climbs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting. And on the men's side, gosh, it just seems a lot of Roman. It's just this is going to be weird because the over the under a log is how he got hurt.
Right.
And what does that do? I would say typically I would pick Roman. But Carolyn's right. Pat's probably a good choice for that one too.
Pat's a good pick. I think Ricky will do well at it.
It depends on how heavy those bags are.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he made the squat look.
But he did not make the dumbbell look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, these are some good workouts because it's got a little bit of everything. It's there a lot of mixed bag where, who do we have?
Mm-hmm.
So then we finish out the day with the 1 rep max deadlift. We have no idea how it's being done.
I know. I wish I knew that. What time is that one slated for?
I hope it's like strongman and they just have a bar and everybody goes and does it. And then they go up and everybody does it again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What's the time frame for, or does it just have a start time? Is it the last thing of the day? Is there something after it?
It is the last thing of the day. The next thing up is Strongman Awards at about an hour and 20 minutes after.
For both men and women to go in
Max
like
deadlift,
30-ish.
I have Chandler. On the
I
men,
have Chandler and Kohlenbrander. Yep, that's what I have.
You have Kohlenbrander.
Yep.
Gosh, I think Spiegel will do well too.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And Laura.
Yeah. Just gotta pick someone other than her at some point.
Do you have to?
No, I mean, I don't on Heat 1 app, but on here I'm trying to pick someone else.
Yeah. I'm trying to, like, dark horse, I would say Kazan.
On deadlift?
Yeah.
I don't know what her
It's not overhead.
I don't know what her raw like strength is. I mean, other than her bench press.
She murdered the squats.
She did.
I think that I think raw strength, she is going to do really well.
That's crazy.
So that's my dark horse. Like, I think the favorites are Danny and Cullenbrander, and probably Laura, and then Gazan's dark horse.
Yeah.
So all the action kind of starts tomorrow early. Remember, tomorrow we are doing an earlier show, and because we have Halloween parties tomorrow night.
That's correct.
So we're doing like a 5 Eastern show tomorrow to go over the first 2 events. And then we will be back on Sunday, right before Tyson Bagent goes on Sunday Night Football. So it'll be a quick show to recap the weekend and the final few events on Sunday. And not because it's Tyson Bagent, but because it's my beloved Chicago Bears.
A little of both.
So I want him to play very, very well.
Yeah.
1, because I think he's a good dude. And 2, because if he plays well, then we play well.
Absolutely.
So with that, do you have anything else tonight?
Nope. I'm excited for tomorrow's coverage. I'm going to hit the gym and then start watching Rogue.
Yeah. And again, huge shout out to our stats and graphics person, Holly. That schedule she put out today was muy bueno, but who knew the rain was going to blow it all up?
I know. Is there rain slated again for tomorrow?
I don't know. Carolyne, have you heard about rain tomorrow? You're there. I don't know.
I hope. Oh no.
Ugh.
I really don't want things to get off. Well,
and then
we'll see what happens.
And one huge shout out to this, the broadcasting experiment that they did. Huge improvement over what has been in the past. I love honestly, like, all 5 screens have a different person on them, and I can bounce and see like where they are. The only weird thing is they're delayed. Some of them are delayed by like a second or 2.
Oh.
So you're off a little bit here or there. But what I did tonight was I took my work monitors and plugged them into my laptop. So I had like big screens with all the stuff on it. And it was really freaking cool. And that you can see the whole field at times. You can bounce around from screen to screen to kind of catch where everybody is. So much better than what it used to be. And my only criticism is you can't rewind it.
Yeah, you can't. I don't feel like you can rewind the live feed.
You can.
Well, I couldn't on my computer. I guess I could on my phone.
Watching from Rogue or YouTube?
From Rogue.
Go to YouTube.
Okay. So that was the issue. I was on Rogue on my computer and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Because I had the same problem. I told you earlier, I went to dinner with Julie. I got back and I missed a little bit of the first heat of the men on the circus. So I had on my laptop, that screen was a rewound version of the live feed so I could catch the first heat while everything else was on the other screens.
Hell, you make me want to get this premium broadcast.
It's pretty cool, especially if you have the monitors to kind of like
Yeah.
use it all. It's really awesome.
Yeah, they're going in the right direction, I think. Good for them.
So with that, thank you everybody for being here and in the chat. We will catch everybody tomorrow. See you then. Here on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk on a Friday night. Yo. And I can't find the ending.
We about to change the game. We out here taking